Guys, basically one of the co-hosts of the show now. Our next guest from being one of the best coaches in the game, from coaching legendary fighters like Daniel Cormier, Luke Rockhold, Cain Velasquez, Islam Makhachev, Khabib Nurmagomedov, and many, many more. The man behind American Kickboxing Academy, Javier Mendez. Welcome back to Submission Radio, man.
Thanks for having me on such late notice. Early notice, late notice, I don't know.
You're in Dubai right now. It's a bit, what is it, like midnight, almost 1 there?
Almost 2. It's 1:41 p.m.
Wow.
a.m.
Who would have thought Javier Mendez, a late night cat, likes to stay up late?
I don't like to stay up late. It's just one of those things today.
Okay, I got to ask you, man. So we were talking to you before this. You're like, I don't even know what we're talking about here, but I don't know if you saw. There's been some crazy news happening, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on it. So basically, in the last 24 hours, news has come out that Ilia Topuria has officially vacated his belt. Right, he is no longer the featherweight champion, and Alex and Diego Lopez will be fighting in Miami. Ilia Topuria has made his intentions clear to come to 155, so it's official. So before we even get to anything else, man, I know we all heard the whispers, but what's your reaction, man? He actually vacated the belt. He won't be defending it. He is coming to 155.
Wow. Hey, respect. Respect. I can't say any more than that, right? But huge respect.
I mean, it's a rare one, right? Like, we've seen people win the belt and move up. Obviously, he had the one title defense, but he's saying there's some issues with weight cutting. But he's also super excited to potentially fight Islam. It kind of seems like he's trying to put all his eggs in one basket before Islam potentially moves up, or he doesn't get his chance to do it. I guess in a way, yeah, there's some respect there, right? Like, he's really going for what his dreams and goals here.
Yeah, I have big respect for that. For us, it's one of those, we fight another featherweight again. So for us, it's what it is. It is what it is. If that's what the UFC is offering, then that's what they're offering. But for us, I don't think it's for him. It's huge. For us, it's another one of those situations that we're supposed to win.
So that and because I know when I speak to you, and there's some other news I want to break down with you when it comes to welterweight, but when I speak to you, you want to see Islam move up to welterweight. If Belal's not the champion, you want to see him have a chance in another belt. Is a part of you a bit disappointed that you guys have to fight, another guy moving up from featherweight to?
Well, I mean, it's not official yet, is it?
Okay, I'm breaking stuff to you today, Javier. I'm breaking it all to you.
It's official?
It's not official, no. So basically,
I ain't saying nothing until it becomes official.
Of course.
Crying wolf. Not crying wolf, not trying to beat people. Nope. Till the UFC announces it, then it's good. It's good. Till then, it's all hearsay.
Let me ask you this. There is a lot happening in the lightweight division. We've got Justin Gaethje about to fight Dan Hooker. That's a juicy fight. We got some big fights here. Do you think that, let's say Ilia does get this shot against Islam, do you think it's deserved? Do you think he should have to fight someone else first? Do you think, in a sense, he's cutting the line here?
Of course he's cutting the line. But hey, if the fans, if that's what they want to see, that's what the UFC wants to see, then it's basically he is cutting the line. But it's not a true sport. In a true sport, you're cutting the line. In a sport like this, which is not a true sport, it's entertainment first. So if more eyeballs are going to pay attention to Topuria, then obviously that's what the UFC is going to want. So from a realistic, real true sport, he's cutting the line, but not from an entertainment. Because if that was the case, how many times did Chael Sonnen skip the line?
People are saying that he's kind of following Conor McGregor's blueprint here. There's a number of similarities between the way early on Conor sort of carried himself and Ilia is carrying himself now. A lot of similar moves. Do you see those similarities as well?
No, because he's a class act. Ilia is a class act. He's not throwing raunchy stuff out there. As far as we're talking performance, I would say performance. Okay, let's forget the other stuff. Performance-wise, I would say, he's doing really well performance-wise.
So here's the other thing, right? It's interesting because you and Islam, Islam's alluded to it a number of times. You've spoken about it a number of times, welterweight, right? Now they've switched out the welterweight matchup. It's no longer Belal and Shavkat. It is now Belal and JDM. So I know Belal is obviously somewhat like a brother to you guys and someone who
Yes.
works out with your team. But what's your reaction to that, man? JDM, he is one of those young kind of. It's hard to tell. He's one of those young, dangerous guys that we don't even know what the ceiling on this guy is yet.
Yeah, I don't know, and I'm also wondering why Shavkat didn't get the title he deserved. You know, but again, this is who knows? I don't know what's going on.
Well, yeah. Well, Shavkat came out. He said he's injured. So unfortunately, he couldn't do it. But that does make things interesting. Obviously, you know, you'll take time to have a think about it. I wonder if Belal will train with you guys a little bit ahead of this. But what do you think of this matchup between Belal and JDM? Do you think this is a harder fight for Belal, or do you think Shavkat was the harder fight for him?
No, Shavkat, hands down to me, was the harder fight. Hands down. Shavkat was the hardest fight for Belal, in my opinion.
It's interesting though, right? Because if JDM does beat Belal, obviously you guys are supporting Belal here. You know, this is the pathway, right? This is the chance. This is the opportunity to go to welterweight.
Yeah, well, what the UFC allows us to, and we're successful on the next fight for sure. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but we can't jump the line ahead. Oh, we're gonna do this, that. We don't know what's gonna happen between Belal and him. So maybe Belal ends up, and hopefully he does. He retains his title, and then we move on forward. You know, but. Let's see what goes on. I mean, I read the thing where Dana said he's working on the fight with Topuria, and now, you're telling me he's relinquished his featherweight title. And then before I came on with you, I saw where it's going to be what do you call it? Like you said, Diego versus Volk fighting for the featherweight title. So it's legit. So who are they giving Topuria if he's relinquished his title? Why would Topuria relinquish his title if he's not getting a title match or I mean, why would he do it? I don't know. I'm asking you this question. I don't know.
Well, the other thing I want to get your thoughts on is Dustin Poirier, right? Apparently the UFC has struggled to fight Dustin a retirement fight. Ilia Topuria, apparently, from what we're understanding, and also from the comments that he's made, it really loves this idea of fighting Dustin Poirier. Let me ask you this. If he is to fight Dustin before he fights Islam, do you think he can get past Dustin Poirier and actually win this fight to make it to a title shot against Islam?
Yeah, I definitely do. He's got, I've said it many occasions, I think he has the best boxing in the whole UFC, all the weight divisions. I believe his boxing is the crispest out of everybody. He's got great wrestling. His mental is strong. He's undefeated. No, man, I favor him slightly, but I favor him.
It's fascinating. So you got Charles Oliveira in the division.
Yeah,
lightweight's crazy right now, right? Like it's just like, and then let me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go, Javier. Sorry.
For me, I would want Arman to get his just due, shot, because he worked very hard for it. And I know that's not the way it works, but I just remember Khabib being in the same situation as him. And unfortunately for Khabib, when he got injured, he had to go back to the drawing board too. So, I feel for Arman because, he was deserving of that opportunity, and unfortunately it didn't work out for him. So, I would like to hope that, but it's just entertainment. So the UFC is going to go where they're going to make the most money. And like any promotion, if I ran a promotion and it was not about anything but making the most money, then I'm going to do the same thing that the UFC is doing. They're doing the great marketing. They're making the right decisions to make the most money. And it's a promotion and entertainment, so that they need to make the most money. So it's not NBA, it's not college basketball or football where number one always has to go with number two, or the two top seeds fight for the championship. It's never going to be that way with boxing or MMA. So, we can't bitch about it. It's the fans want to see. The majority of the fans are going to want to see this type of fighting. So they're going to get what they want. The UFC is going to give the fans what they're looking for. So that's why they do all their research, and they make sure which is the fight that's the most appealing. And then once in a while, I'm sure they're going to stick to their morals and go, okay, this is the fight we want because we want it. So I'm sure that happens too. So I don't think all the time it's all based on what makes the most money.
Well, how about this? One more thing with 155. This division's crazy. Obviously, Max Holloway is still around there. We've got Charles Oliveira, Arman, Dan Hooker, Justin Gaethje about to clash. What about this one? Also announced, Michael Chandler will be taking on Paddy Pimblett, 5-round fight as well at UFC 314. Paddy Pimblett, right? He's been someone that's been on the cusp of sort of breaking into that whole upper hemisphere of the division. If he can go out here and beat Michael Chandler in an impressive fashion, all of a sudden now he's in the discussion of what's happening next with them in the division. What's your reaction to this fight being made?
You know, if he can beat Michael Chandler, like you're saying, in impressive fashion, yeah, his name needs to be in deserving because, again, it's all about eyeballs. And we all know Paddy the Baddy draws. People want to see him. So, he has a big say in what's going to happen is he is successful in his next fight. So, yes, I mean, you're giving me a lot of interesting scenarios here that I'm looking, wow, there's a lot of things that can be played in that lightweight division. So, it's a good time to be pound for pound number one for Islam because, he's at 15 wins. Anderson Silva's at 16. So he has 2 more to break the record, and, for me, it's like, if you're pound for pound number one, hey, they put him in front of you, they make the weight, you take the fight. So that's what Islam's going to do. So let's see what happens, but I did read where Dana said he's working on that fight. So for me, I'm not going to say that fight's made just based on Dana said we're working on it. That's not done.
Yeah, for sure. Also, Ariel Helwani, again, this is all just hearsay reporting that apparently International Fight Week is a timeline that the UFC would be looking for this fight to happen. If it was International Fight Week for you, Javier, is that good timing to prepare for someone like Ilia Topuria?
Yeah, of course. I mean, anybody. I mean, all Islam needs is 2 months to prepare for anybody. He's not going to care who he fights. You make 155, we all have the same attitude. We fight, you pay us. This is who you're offering. He's not going to say no. If that's who they offer, that's who's been worked out, is who's on the table for Islam. That's what Islam's going to do. That's just the way he is. He's a true warrior. He's not somebody that's going to say, no, give me somebody else. No, he's going to fight. That's the way it is. We're a champion. We're number one for a reason. We're not supposed to reject any person they throw in front of you. He will do what a champion's supposed to do.
Yeah. It's crazy. I remember not long ago we spoke. We were trying to figure out who's next for Islam, who's going to put themselves in a position. Now there's like 6 people in a position that could potentially fight. I mean, this is how these things happen. Like out of nowhere, it's like, all right, we've got like all these options. Let me ask you this. Obviously, you said Ilia Topuria in your mind is the best boxer in the UFC, right? The best pure boxer in the UFC.
Yeah.
How will you guys be preparing for Ilia in this fight? What do you think is the big mistake that people have made against Ilia in the past, in these previous fights? Guys like Alex Volkanovski and these other great fighters haven't really been able to figure out Max Holloway, for example.
Well, I mean, for me, let's just go with Alex. With Alex, I think he jumped in too soon in that fight after having the Islam fight. But he's a great fighter, and he does what a fighter does. You offer him a fight, he takes it. So do I think it was too early after what happened with that head kick from Islam? Absolutely. And he got caught making a big mistake, keeping his chin up the way he was doing it. And as tight as Ili's boxing is, he was able to capitalize on that. He's got great power too. So yeah, no, that was a bad mistake on Alex. But let's be clear on this. Before that happened, it wasn't like Alex was getting streamed. He wasn't. He was doing really, really good, and he might have been ahead on scoring on points. If I remember correctly, he might have been slightly ahead. So let's not forget that. Volkanovski I think he came back too early, and he made a mistake, and he paid for it. He paid for it from a young, hungry lion, and that hungry lion just got better after beating Alex. He got better, and then he did something that no one's ever done. To Max Holloway, which I thought when the fight was going to happen, I thought, okay, he'll get a max early, third, fourth, round, but maybe after that, Max would come back and maybe have a chance. That's what I was thinking. But boy, that didn't happen.
All right, guys, I want to talk to you about our sponsor, MANSCAPED, who make this podcast possible. I'm, of course, talking about the Chairman Plus, the electric foil shaver by MANSCAPED, placing the power of a barber quality shave in the palm of your hand. Whether you're suiting up for the boardroom, getting ready for a date, or setting the stage for cuffing season, the Chairman Plus delivers professional grade performance tailored to your style. It's luxury reinvented for the modern man who demands more. Ready to step up? Why not join the trusted movement? Over 12 million men. Visit manscaped.com now. Use the code word submission. Get 20% off and free shipping now, and you keep this podcast going. You support this show and you support yourself. Just quickly, what makes the Chairman Plus stand out? Well, it's all about versatility and precision. It comes with 2 interchangeable skin-safe blade heads, uses 3-blade foil for a close, smooth shave, has skin-safe technology to help reduce razor burn, and of course, the Chairman Plus is waterproof, so it lets you shave right in the shower. And by the way, how about this? 60 minutes of runtime on a single charge, so you're sorted no matter where you go. Manscaped also has a 30-day money-back guarantee, so why not try it risk-free? Use the code word submission. 20% off and free shipping today. Risk-free 30-day money-back guarantee. Manscaped keeps the show alive and keeps your dating life and your smoothness alive too. Jump on Manscaped right now. And guys, I just want to talk to you about our other sponsors, SAILY. SAILY is a groundbreaking eSIM that has you sorted wherever you go in the world. Super low prices, super easy to use. All you got to do is download this app. Have a look at me. I'm in the app. I choose the destination to where I need to go. Boom, click a couple of buttons and I'm set. Forget about taking out your SIM card. Forget about lining up in long lines at the airport. Forget about having to change your phone number and everything about your phone. SAILY has you sorted. It's easy, it's simple. It comes with all the security features that you need. Why not just use the amount of money that you need for the destination that you need without having to sign up to crazy plans that go for months at a time that you have to get out of, or paying per day crazy amounts of money and coming back at the end of the holiday to having to take out a loan just to pay off the amount of money that you spent on the holiday using your phone. So do this right now. Go to saily.com/submission or click the link in the bio below. Get 15% off your first purchase with the code word submission. That's 15% off your first purchase with the code word submission. Get SAILY in your life and change it forever. And now, back to the program. It's interesting because Ilia keeps saying he wants to grapple with Islam, right? But I got to say as well, Islam, his striking has improved so much. Like every single fight, Islam is looking better and better when it comes to his striking. I'm guessing the striking area, you're not going to be looking to sort of shield away from that, right? You're happy to see the fight play out in the striking area. Break that down for me, because Islam's got great kicks. Well, he's really built up his game.
What's the secret out in Islam? He's complete everywhere. What have I always said? I always said it. Habib has always said it. He fights however we ask him to fight, minute by minute, second by second, round by round, because he can. So we can have one plan going in, and all of a sudden we change it. And guess what? We have a fighter that is able to change it because he's that good. So for me, it's not a matter of what he's going to do. It's going to be a matter of what Ilia is not going to be able to do. Let's see if that happens. And I'm not saying it is. I mean, whoever they put in front of us, I know one thing: Islam is a true champion. He's going to say yes, and that's the one thing I can honestly say. There's not many of them out there that are like that. The only one that's like that, that I think is like that is Pereira. He's the one he'll take 2-3 weeks notice. He's out of all of them.
He was in Sydney a couple of weeks back.
Yeah,
so he's got a fight coming up, like right around the corner.
The number 2 for me is Islam. Islam will take anybody too, but it will take a little bit more time. But Alex is a G, man. I don't think there's ever been anyone like that I've ever seen in the championship history of champions, where he'll take a fight on 3 weeks' notice. I've never seen that. He is a true G. 100%. And
he was in Sydney. He was like doing seminars and dinners and stuff just the other week. Like the guys just try. He's always working, man. Like I can't believe, like he was cornering Strickland. He's just, making the most of his time in the
Yeah,
UFC. Let me ask you this.
yeah.
Obviously, Ilia shot in on Max Holloway. He keeps talking about the grappling. We saw what Islam did to Moicano. He's got his own versions of submissions. He's just unbeatable on the ground. What do you think it looks like if Ilia Topuria tries to shoot in on Islam Makhachev in this fight?
He's a smaller guy. He's not as experienced on the ground as Islam. I don't think it favors him personally. I really don't. I know he grapples with his own people, et cetera, et cetera. But it's one thing to grapple with them. It's another thing to grapple with the likes of Habib and Islam and some of these other killers that are in Dagestan. It's a whole different level. And I've seen it. So I can honestly say there is no other gym that's going to have the type of caliber of grapplers that Abdulmanov's gym has. There isn't. That's just a fact, And so to be able to prepare for someone like Islam, where are you going to go? Who are you going to grapple with that's got that kind of level? You're not, unless you go to Dagestan itself. Then you got somebody. But if you don't, where are you going to go to get that level? You're not going to go anywhere you're going to get that level. It's not going to happen. So I don't care who you're grappling with. You're not going to be able to deal with the level of what Dagestan brings, and especially in that division.
Mm. All right, man. Well, listen, this is exciting stuff. I mean, this is all developing. I appreciate you taking the time to be at 2 a.m. over in Dubai for reacting to this with me. It's almost like a therapy session, right? I'm just trying to figure stuff out about this like you are. And but you know what? The one thing about this that I like is it's great to see Islam in a position to fight, another big name where this is going to be potentially the biggest fight of the year, right? At least it's good to know that this could potentially be the fight of International Fight Week, the super fight. And I feel like for Islam, someone who is pound for pound the best fighter in the world, it's great to be able to do that, right? Especially while he's in his peak.
Yeah, and he will tie the record for Anderson Silva's most consecutive wins, of 16. So it's history for him. But I mean, just for me, it's I'd rather have it been Patty the Batty or the number one guy I would want is Armin because I just feel bad for him because I understand how it is to work so hard only to fall short due to injury, not to anything else. And if that's what I heard on him, he got injured during the weight cut, and I know that happened to Habib. So I just feel for him.
Yeah, I appreciate. Very respectful, man, and I hope Armin can bounce back. Who knows? Maybe they're going to do Ilia and Armin for the title shot. Potentially, that could be a fight that could make it a bit more worthwhile for Ilia to get this shot. But whatever it is, man, I'm excited to see what happens next. I'll let you go. I know it's late over there. Best coach in the world, Javier Mendez. Thank you so much for joining me. As we wrap up, what's coming up? What can we look out for? I know you're over there working on a few businesses and a few things. What can we look out for?
Well, I mean, this Saturday I have Amaru, from Team Habib. He's defending his UAE lightweight title, and then Chanko, another one of our up and coming stars that you'll see soon in the UFC. He's I believe it's a semi-main event on the UAE Warriors event, which is really it's the best show in the Middle East, and actually. UAE Warriors is becoming one of the best shows in the world. The production value, the fighters that are there. It's unbelievable. A lot of these guys that fight for the UAE end up fighting for the UFC and then becoming stars, and for PFL also like Usman, Umar, are all there. A whole bunch of guys that have been fighting in UAE Warriors move on to greater pastures with the UFC or other big leagues like PFL and ONE FC. So it's a great promotion to get your feet wet into the big ones.
Check it out this weekend. And thank you so much, Coach. I can't wait to see what happens next.
All right. I'm waiting to see what your prediction is. Let's see. I mean, hey, Islam's a true champion. He's going to fight whatever they put in front of him. So, there's no, we're not fighting that guy. No, he's fighting. So let's just see when and if they can put it together. Whoever it is.